Anybody that feels the need to bark at Ben Darnell
That's
will
fine.
throw that back out there.
860-522-3776. I'm just saying, your little daughter.
The Caitlin fans are going to come at you hard.
That's fine. Page over Caitlin around here. Page over Caitlin. And, if your little daughter is now interested in basketball because what she saw last night in Caitlin Clark, that's awesome. That is so great. And she is a great person. She is a great role model, but not for a basketball team. She is a horrible example of how you play team basketball. That is a selfish act.
It's not just the evolution in this day and age of what we have, what we raised. And
I'm glad you brought up the evolution.
Land.
And not only that, point scoring and no defense and threes.
Yeah.
Like, the evolution of basketball is like, watch the 3-point line. By the way, Pete Maravich didn't have one, right? Like, playing without one. So these points that she's about to get, she's 99 away from breaking Pete Maravich. And I hope she does. But the 3-point line used to be 19-9. And then, what was it, 2010? In college, we backed it up a foot. High school stayed. And then we were like, well, why aren't the women's line backed? They backed that up. And the men were like, okay, well, we can go even a little bit further. And now there's 2 3-point lines. One's for the men, one's for the women. That's been an evolution in the last 15 years. And I like it because not only I like it because of the spacing. I don't like it because of all the threes. It has opened things up a little bit. And you have seen, especially in the men's game, a different style of play than what we're used to, that we're trying to fight 5-on-5 in a phone booth. I understand that. But I'm just telling you, man, you don't take those shots. If she goes to the WNBA and has that kind of green light, I will be shocked. I'm happy for her. But again, the evolution of this game has been points. Kelsey Plum, was that 2018? It was 5 years ago? 2016? Something like that? It's less than a decade. And she's great too. Maddie Siegrist is the 3rd place now. Last year, Kurt. That was last year. And I love Maddie, and her game was completely different. Yes, she was making some threes, but if Maddie Siegrist walked across the half-court line, threw up a prayer, and it went in, I think she might be benched. She might be. I don't know. But she was last year. Point scoring has continued to increase. Shooting has gotten so much better. The one thing that I am just shocked at is that someone can dribble the ball up half court and just let it fly with nobody underneath the basket. Again, I'm from the Indiana basketball cut. I'm from the Gene Hackman 5 passes before we shoot cut. And it's not like my personal philosophy. That's just how I was brought up by all the coaches that I've ever had. I just see that shot, and I'm just like, wow, how does she get away with that? Just shooting the shot. And the reason she gets away with it is she's 50%. So I know guys that can't make free throws at 50% clip that are in the NBA. And you take that percentage from the logo any day of the week. I'm just saying, it's nothing to try to emulate. Yes, try to be a great shooter. Of course, you want to make every single shot. No, do not cross half court and just shoot it. No, that's bad. No, don't. That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry. I got it out of my system. But she's great. I hope we play her. I hope UConn plays Iowa somehow, some way. I think the world wants that.
Yeah.
They want Paige versus Caitlin. That's the one thing that I applaud is the people.
But the rebounding should go to UConn, I mean, from the look of it.
Oh, that is a great point. I'm glad you brought up rebounding. There was another record in women's basketball last night, and I think this one should be celebrated even more. A lot of people didn't even know because it was Division II, and it was rebounding.
But I love rebounding because it's such a hustle thing.
Francis Marion center Lauren Taylor set the NCAA division record, all divisions, men and women, 44 rebounds last night. 44 rebounds with the 85-62 win that Francis Marion had over North Greenville. This is D2 South Carolina Hoops. Here's another part of the stat of the 44 rebounds from Miss Taylor. She's 5'11". She's 5'11".
I was not going to guess that.
Now, I don't know. We were trying to find video. I don't know if North Greenville averages like 4'6". Like they're just a bunch of small girls out there. And this Lauren Taylor just towers over everybody. But 44 boards, 44 rebounds.
That's amazing.
That's a season. That's a great season. And she did it in one night. That should be celebrated. That should be like, girls, look at what rebounding can do.
I kind of want to watch like 5 minutes of this just to get a pace of it. You know, like how often that has to be in order to be 44 in a night.
Unreal. So we had some women's basketball numbers that are just insane now, and I really do like watching Caitlin Clark. It's shocking to me to see the shot selection and the green light that she has, but honestly, that's what makes Iowa somewhat dangerous. Will there ever be someone like when Caitlin Clark leaves, she might come back. She's got the opportunity to come back. But when she leaves, is Iowa going to find that one person again and then let that be the offense? I don't think so. Like, this is a shooting star. This is a once in a program history, I would say. And they know they have it, and they use it really well, and she's making her shots. So when you do cross the half-court line on defense, you've got to be prepared for her to shoot. And, you know, that is a defensive game plan that only exists when you're playing Iowa women's basketball. It would never exist anywhere else, even against Steph Curry. NBA teams are not you might see it in the All-Star game. You might see it in games that they don't care. But you're not going to see even the Detroit Pistons, who are a sorry bunch of guys playing NBA basketball that can't win games. They aren't going to check Steph right after half court. Like, they're still going to give him, because, like, go ahead. If you want to be that selfish, and we'll see how Klay Thompson and Draymond Green react. And, again, he does shoot shots that are crazy, but it's within some framework of an offense. And it isn't right on Steph isn't in transition on a 2-on-1 and pulling up at half court on a 2-on-1. No. It's not happening.
Let me ask you about the coach, though, for Iowa.
Yeah.
Will this coach be labeled like undisciplined is kind of the format or
I don't know.
The taste
I don't know
that you get out of, and will that help or hurt recruiting going forward?
I would love to be in a film session with this bunch after a win or a loss. And it's just like, all right, see this one, you know, Caitlin's going to come down. Where was everybody else? Like, Coach, we're just playing defense. You got to run back because we know Caitlin's going to shoot that half quarter. Caitlin, you need to shoot that half quarter. Like, that is just weird anti-basketball talk that I've never been a part of. And it takes something like this. Like, it's not a gimmick. It feels like it, but it's not a gimmick. Like, she's so good, and the rest of the team knows it too. And that's the other thing. It's just it's fascinating to watch, and it's going to continue and continue. It is All-Star Weekend. We do have a battle of the sexist part of All-Star Weekend. Sabrina versus Steph is going on for supreme three-point primacy. We'll see who finishes there. We do have the dunk contest. We do have the three-point contest. It is back to East and West. I'm kind of excited about that. We do have Jordan Hawkins in the Rising Stars game, one of our UConn friends, so that should be exciting. There's so much hoops this weekend. I think Caitlin Clark got it started last night. I'm sorry. I went way too long on my Caitlin Clark needs to share the ball. Too selfish. It's like, let's go. Adam Giardino's waiting. Adam Giardino on the phone. We got to take a break. When we come back, we'll break down some of this game 1 versus 4, plus see where Adam is at right now, what he thinks about Caitlin Clark's accomplishments, and the parade. If we win a national championship, what does Adam Giardino think about parades now that we have had the tragedy after the Kansas City Super Bowl parade? Adam Giardino, UConn Sports Network, joins us next.
84 eastbound, you have a drop in speed